Bismillah. Everything's working. Yep, cool. Inshallah, it keeps going smoothly. Where's the there it is. Okay, Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem, whatever you meant to say to all of you. Today is I'm not fasting right now, it's like midnight. But again, it is the fourth. We're going into the fourth day of Ramadan, I think, or fifth, or third, or second. I'm not too sure what day we're on, but we're doing good. We're doing good. We are staying away from the bad things, and we're doing the good things. That's all life is. All life is staying away. Let's summarize Islam in one sentence: stay away from the bad things and do the good things. That's it, encapsulated in a sentence. But yeah, assalamu alaikum. This episode, welcome to another episode of the Self-Reflection Podcast. Again, a podcast which just talks about my life, what I've learned this week, reflections I've had. Basically, that it. Again, you guys know. Yes, today's episode, as always, is sponsored by Human Appeal. Make sure you follow us. I found out the other day that Human Appeal want me to climb up Mount Everest the other day, and I don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna need some words with the people that do the directors, or I don't know. I need to have a word with somebody. But yeah, you guys can join me on that trip to Everest. I think it's at the end of the year, because I was like this. I was like, bro, do you lot know how heavy I am? I said, there's no way my fat self is climbing on Mount Everest. I said, I can do like the first hour with you lot, and then just like wave from the bottom and give emotional support. But I said, other than that, I said, I'm not doing it. But yeah, no, I've got a lot of challenges planned this year, a lot of deployments as well that you guys can join me on as well. Make sure you follow Human Appeal. Message them if you want to get involved. There's a lot of things on the website, etc. But yeah, anyway, getting into the episode, because again, I always say I don't want it to be a long episode today, but it always is. But inshallah, we can get through this. This is something I've been thinking about recently, for years, kind of. It's something that's helped me out quite a lot. Bro, what is in my eyes? Hold on. Ugh. Someone was telling me to edit all these little small blips, and like when people call me and stuff, and someone said edit out the podcast, and I was like, no, this is an authentic podcast. I try and keep it as authentic as I can. I don't want to edit it and make it clean and make sure the camera's this angle and make sure the lighting's there. I don't like that. I don't like that in content creation. It's sometimes nice to see, but I feel like content creation, I treat it like an art form. And with art, you have to embrace the imperfections. That's what makes it beautiful, I believe, for art anyway. Today's episode is about the wisdom of a broken heart. What do you mean by that, Umar? That's a great question. I'm going to go into it a bit deeper. I feel like heartbreak is one of the greatest things that can ever happen to you in your life. Why do I say that? I believe heartbreak is there to remind you of what matters in life and where you should be directing your love towards, or directing your energy towards. Because what is a heartbreak? What is heartbreak in itself? It is you attaching yourself to something other than Allah, and then that thing showing its true nature to you, which you don't like, because again, you made a fantasy of what this thing should have been like. But the reality of the thing was, it was going to let you down because it was imperfect, because it's not Allah. And you chose to give your heart to something that was imperfect, that wasn't Allah. And therefore, it broke your heart, because again, you've placed your heart in the wrong thing. You should only give your heart towards Allah. And I feel like it's such a great reflection, and it's just a great thing to happen to you. And it's weird, I almost pray for everyone to get their heart broke, because it's just that thing that always snaps you back into reality. Why did you love something that was imperfect? Why did you give yourself to something that lets itself down every day? I said this to one of my friends the other day. I said, let's just look at it like this. Every single day. So this is why, again, I pray everyone gets their heart broke, because it will remind you of this lesson. As humans, we are flawed. We are imperfect. Not only do I let myself down every day, like when I say, oh, let me go to the gym, let me do this, and then I don't do it. That's me letting myself down. And if we're being honest, we love ourselves more than we love anything. But further than that, I let Allah down every day when I'm late for my prayers and when I'm doing these things. Or when I miss certain, like, whatever it needs to do with in pertaining towards Islam, I let Allah down. I always fall short because I'm imperfect. So I let myself down and I let Allah down. These are the two most important things in our lives. Again, we're not going to pretend like we don't have egos. We do. Why in the hell would you choose to give yourself to something like that? To something as imperfect as another human being? To fully just get your heart, your soul, your aspirations, everything, and just give that to another person. They let themselves down every day. So of course they're going to let you down. Of course. The nature of heartbreak is because you had an illusion in your head and it didn't match up with reality. And that is where the problems came. You thought this person was going to be the answer. It was the answer of your prayers, and you thought they were going to come through with like sunshine and rainbows and all these things. But naturally, they're a flawed person. They have skeletons in their closet. They have demons they're facing. All of these things, and you completely just walked past all of that because you was caught up in the moment and you fell in love with this person. Again, nothing's wrong with falling in love with someone. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you have to fall in love with the source first, and then you can fall in love with the creation. So you fall in love with the creator first, and then you can love the creation. I believe we have to love our spouse, we have to love our mother, we have to love the people, we have to love the ummah. But at the core of it, at the source of it, you have to know that you're loving Allah through that. Because those of you are the best that serve the creation. People that love, how can you serve something unless you love them? Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's like you have to understand what you love in a person is Allah. Everything that you love in a certain person is Allah. So you're just loving Allah, but it's just in this form or in this vessel, and you've given those attributes to that person. So for example, like the reason why I say fall in love with Allah, fall in love with the creator more than the creation, is because anything that you would have loved in the creation belongs to Allah. If I love someone because they're kind, if I love someone because they're beautiful, if I love someone because they have a good sense of justice, I don't know, or they have strength, all of these things I've just mentioned, and everything I will ever mention that is a positive attribute, all of those attributes belong to Allah. So I'm not loving the person, I'm loving Allah, because Allah is those attributes. Allah is beauty. So if I see a beautiful woman, she's just borrowing that attribute from Allah, because beauty is Allah's. It's not, I don't know, Layla's or something. You know what I mean? So I believe in order to avoid heartbreak in that sense is when you attach yourself to the source, the creator, rather than the creation. And I feel like it's just a great way of just continuing to train yourself in this world, because again, in life you're going to have your heart broken many times in many different ways. We're talking about romantic relationships, but you can have your heart broken in many different ways. Betrayal from friends, betrayal from family members. Like, there's so many different ways we can go about this kind of heartbreak. But I always say, and even heartbreak, like, let's say I've gone through some heartbreaks in my life, some very like difficult ones, and not even pertaining towards kind of romantic heartbreaks or other ones. I'll talk in another episode about those in more details maybe. But I always said, true love here, true love, it doesn't break your heart. I believe love molds you. Heartbreak molds you. Heartbreak shapes you. You can't break your heart. It's not a bone. not move. See, look, I like to keep this authentic. But yeah, I say true love doesn't break your heart. It molds you. It shapes you. You can't break a heart. It's not glass. It's, again, I believe you can damage it or whatever. But yeah, love doesn't break your heart. It molds you. It shapes you. It strengthens you to become the person that you need to be for, I believe, your fate or your destiny. So for example, I always use this thing. So if I say love is there, heartbreak is there not to break you, but to shape and mold you, and it prepares you to be able to receive what was destined for you. And I love this example. Khadijah, the wife of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may Allah rest her soul and may Allah elevate her to the highest ranks of Jannah. Khadijah, the one we all look up to in terms of, especially for the women. Khadijah was married 3 times before she met the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I'm sure when she divorced each of those men, I'm sure it was upsetting for her. I'm sure maybe one of them she really thought she loved and maybe it broke her heart. But let's be honest. The 3 men that she was married to and the heartbreak after each divorce that she probably went through, it was preparing her to be the wife of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the messenger of God. That's why we can't look at our situation now, our heartbreak now, and just be like, oh, the world's about to end and blah blah blah, because I was destined to be with John, or I was destined to be with Layla, I was destined, because you don't know who Allah has written for you in your future. Again, Khadijah married 3 times, but that fourth marriage there was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't even think she would have been able to foresee that. But again, I believe it molded her and it shaped her, and she learnt things from those relationships in order to be able to give that all to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which was her, let's say, true love. And I feel like it's the same for us. When we go through these situations, when we go through heartbreak, when we go through certain things in our life, who are you to say, oh, this is a heartbreak and it's not a heart molding situation to get you prepared for what Allah has in store for you? You don't know that because you can't see the future. You don't have the knowledge of the future. Therefore, you can't make logical, rational decisions because you don't know what Allah holds. I think that's why I'm so relaxed in all kind of affairs, because I'm just like, well, Allah's already planned all of this out for me, and I trust His plan more than mine, because many times in my life I've planned to be with someone, I've planned to do something, or again, certain career path, and it's worked out very bad for me because I took my advice, my own advice, over Allah's advice. Allah told me not to do this, but I did this in order to try and get something good for me. Like, let's just look at that. You chose your own wisdom and intellect over Allah's wisdom and all-encompassing wisdom and knowledge. How did you think that was gonna balance up? And the thing, it's so dumb. I've even done things that have gone against what Allah has told me, or what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has advised me against in terms of the sunnahs and what he told you not to do. I've tried to do haram things in order to get something halal. Work that out for me for a second, because that is the human rationale right there. I tried to do something haram to get something halal. It doesn't make sense. And it's just, but obviously that's me trying to take control of my life into my own hands, when you have no control. It's all Allah's. You have the illusion of control. Subhanallah. And I've done it so many times in my life, and now I'm learning to get out my own way. I'm learning to try and kill my ego, remove my ego, in order to let Allah just do His will through me, rather than me trying to, again, battle Him. Another thing in regards to heartbreak, another lesson that we can get from heartbreak, and I feel like it another lesson all right. I said another lesson we can get through heartbreak is almost like a biological one now. Like when we just look at the physiology or the biology of a human being and how things work. And I link it to the heart, because the heart is an organism in the body just like any other thing. There's this concept of breaking to build. I believe it is in spirituality. I believe it's in, again, just the human biology. Like, for example, when you break a bone, everyone knows the bone comes back stronger. I broke my ankle once years ago. My left ankle is now stronger than my right ankle, and I can feel it. With muscles, if you want to get muscles like mine, you have to tear your muscles. You have to rip your muscles in order for them to grow back stronger. That is not an easy process. You are ripping muscles for them to grow back stronger. It's just like the heart. And it reminds me of the thing where it says, when Allah says, the skies and the heaven can't contain me, Allah, only the heart of a believer can contain me. If the heart is what contains Allah, if the heart is what is the home of Allah, what happens when you break it? When it gets bigger, or it gets like stronger, or it has this reality it can now unleash? I believe just like when you tear your muscles and they come back bigger and stronger, I believe just when you break a bone, it comes back stronger and more developed. I feel like heartbreak does the same thing. Any human being that I've ever like inspired to be like, or I just get inspiration from, or I just think, oh, I really want to be like you. You have a lot of wisdom. You have you're just a cool guy, or what? You're just a great person. They have all gone through some form of trials, tribulation, and all of them have gone through some form of heartbreak, because heartbreak shapes who you need to become. Stop running away from heartbreak. It's not going to kill you unless you let it. But the thing is, with heartbreak, I think it's just one of the greatest tools of self-development. You can use heartbreak and use that energy for so many things. You can use the energy to turn back to Allah, which is the main one. You can use it to get results in the gym. You can use it to put that energy into like a career or artistic pursuit. All of my best poems have came from heartbreak, by the way. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm even looking for heartbreak just so I can write better. But the thing is, it's like, don't let heartbreak define your life. Just let it shape you and mold you to become the person you need to be. The level up. It's time to level up. Let heartbreak level you up. But yeah, on the last thing, I'm going to leave it here, because again, I've been ranting. How long I've been ranting? Oh, please don't be long. 17 minutes. That's not bad. I thought I was in the 20-minute mark. All right, cool. I'm going to do this last reflection and then I'm going to call it here. I remember when I was in Senegal once and someone came to my sheikh. And they said to him, this is a story about this is a story about someone who wanted to know Allah, who wanted to get closer to Allah, who wanted to love Allah more. So this boy came, I say boy, he was a young man. This young man came to the sheikh and he said to him, I want to know Allah, I want to learn about Allah, I want to love Allah, I want to do all these things and blah blah blah. And the sheikh says to him, have you ever had your heart broke before? And the young man says no. And then the sheikh turns around and says to him, he says, go get your heart broke and then come back to me, and then I'll teach you about like knowing Allah, basically. And obviously some people like this, what, you have to have your heart broken to like know Allah. And to me, from my objective perspective, is yes, I believe to some degree you need to have your heart broken and to go through some sort of trauma, trials and tribulation in order for you to truly understand and grasp the love of Allah. Both ways, you loving him and him loving you, to understand that relationship. Because I believe when you have your heart broken, it teaches us about the love that we have with creation and the love that we have between us and Allah, between us and our Creator. You understand very fast when you get your heart broken by a false sense of love that you've put into an incomplete human or imperfect human. You learn that the love between the creation is an imitation of the love between what Allah has for you. It is a reflection of love. It is not love in itself. This is something I believe anyway. Just like your reflection isn't who you are. Like if I go to a mirror, the reflection in the mirror, that's not me. I'm me, and that is a mere reflection of me. It's trying to almost imitate me. I believe the love that we have between each other is an imitation of the love that Allah has for us. It's an imitation. That's why it doesn't something's always missing. We're never fulfilled with that love, whatever it is, love of money, love of fame, love of people. It can't sustain you because it's an imitation. It's a false sense of love. The true sense of love is what Allah has for us. And once you learn that love in a more intimate setting, you understand, I don't know, it's just like such a more intimate relationship, because you're like, yeah, this is that true love. I was about to use an analogy, but I don't want to use the analogy I was going to use. But yeah, and I feel like to be honest, I want to make a whole video about this, that point right there. Yeah, I'm gonna start talking, because this actually might be a better video that I could maybe formulate a lot better if I take the time. But yeah, anyway, that was the wisdom of heartbreak, of a broken heart. Something I've thought about a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna continue to build on this, because I do believe it's needed in today's society. But yeah, anyway, Ramadan Mubarak. Again, reflections every day on my Instagram page. If you go over to my Instagram, you'll see me. I'm posting reflections every single day. Yes, it's very tiring, but I will do it. But yeah, hopefully everyone has a great Ramadan. Again, hopefully you enjoy these episodes. Inshallah, we will continue to just build upon this, inshallah. But yeah, I'm gonna go now because I need to go eat and drink. Yes, assalamu alaikum. Guess what, guys? I love you all. But even I'm joking. Assalamu alaikum.